back, what's up, at Texas Card House for another live stream.
And this is no ordinary live stream, guys. There is a challenge, there are punishments on the line. Whoever wins the most out of us three gets to pick a punishment for the people that are not the winners.
These two get in huge hands, and it comes down to the very last hand of the night. Stay tuned.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
Let's win this thing. First hand, we got Ace King offsuit under the gun +3. I open it up to $15. We get 2 callers off to a flop, which comes Jack 8-3 with 2 diamonds. Not much for us here multi-way. Checks to me, I check, it checks around, and the turn is the 6 of diamonds. The flush gets there. We do have the king of diamonds. Action checks through once more, and the river is the 7 of diamonds, giving us the second nut flush. Aaron now leads out for $50 into a pot of 48. And now it's on me. I debate between calling or raising. Not sure a raise can get called by too much worse. He's already bet the full size of the pot, so I decide to just call. Bo folds, and as you can see, we scoop this one.
That'll way to get us started, Rosie. We got another big hand coming for you. Bo opens +3 with pocket jacks to $15. We see a call from the cutoff. We also see a call from the small blind. As I'm in the big blind, Frankie looking down at pocket queens, the ladies. Let's go. A 3-bet to $100. We got Bo to a decision here. He does put in the call, and the other two players get out of the way. We're going heads up to a flop. A lot already in the middle, which comes 3, 4, 7, 2 spades. The SPR, which is the stack to pot ratio, is about 1. It looks like a time for an all-in, and Bo snap calls us. We're in a great spot. We are running it twice.
That's 1 spade. That's not another one. Queens up is going to hold. Oh, the first run out. Multiple runouts here. That's another spade. That's not it. Queens take the whole
Sweat
thing.
on both turns.
We avoid a spade twice in a row and scoop home a big pot. Let's go.
This hand we see under the gun +2 open to $15. We pick up the beautiful ace 10 of hearts and call on the button. Bo calls in the small blind. We're off to a flop 3 ways in position. It comes 8-6-8 rainbow with 1 heart. Checks all the way to me, and given that the pre-flop aggressor did not c-bet, we are in position with 2 overcards, a backdoor flush, and straight draw. Let's try to take it down right now with ace high. I bet $25, but Bo does not believe me and makes the call. Off to a turn, which is the king of hearts, bringing in that flush draw for us. When Bo checks, this is a great card for us to double barrel on. I keep bluffing to the tune of $60, and Bo folds the better hand. Let's go.
First hand of the stream for me, we got ace 9 of clubs in the +3. I open to $15, and we face a button min click to $30. Folds around to me. This is Bo. He's a pretty action player. I decide to call for 15 more, assess a flop, and it comes 5-9-4 rainbow. Great flop for me. I check, and he checks this one back. The turn is a 3. It brings in the spade flush draw, and I decide to bet out here for $40. Can get called by plenty of worse holdings, especially some ace-x holdings that just picked up a gut shot. He calls the 40, and we're off to a river. It's the queen of diamonds. Still feeling pretty good about my hand. Now we really only lose to hands like ace-queen that floated the flop, and maybe a slow played overpair. I decide to bet out here, but bet small, hoping to induce a bluff. I bet $25, and bluff do we induce? He raises me to $100 with his dirty diaper 3-deuce offsuit, turning his pair into a bluff. I bet small to induce the bluff, so definitely have to call if I get raised. I call the 75 more. He tells me we're good, we show it, and we scoop in a pot, starting off the session right.
We've been trying out a pretty new fun formula in poker. We put in a limp and under the gun with ace queen of diamonds like we do with all of our hands in this position. We see a raise from Ethan to $15 and a 3-bet from Aaron to $50. This is why this spot becomes so profitable. People are raising and re-raising way too loose on these live stream games. So because my hand's good and it's actually perfect for the situation, I go for a 4-bet to $160. Ethan folds, and as does Aaron. I get him off a little bit of equity there, although we had him in a good spot, and the limp squeeze makes us $65.
Here the $10 straddle is on. It folds to me in the hijack with pocket 9s. I open to $30. The small blind calls, and the straddler comes in for the 3-bet to $100. I debate all 3 options, honestly. I do end up deciding on a call, hoping the small blind will join as well to make the odds even sweeter. That is exactly what happens. We head off to a flop with over $300 in the middle, and it comes king 6-4 with 2 diamonds. Small blind checks, the 3-better c-bets his top pair for $125. It's on me, and I'm not feeling too good. All of his ace king, his king x have now passed us. We still have the small blind in the mix. I make what is the correct fold, kissing that $100 goodbye. The small blind folds as well. It sucks to lose that $100 that quickly, but we did call when we were ahead and folded when we were behind. So on to the next one.
Here's a fun one. We got pocket fives in the +3. We're playing 1-3-10 and face a $35 open from Val. I call and the big blind defends as well, so we're 3 ways to a board of Jack 7-3 with 2 spades. Checks a Val and he bets $40. One thing I realized was it seemed he was a bit over c-betting boards. This board favors my range a bit more than his, as well as I have positions, so I use both of those to my advantage and decide to take control of the pot by raising to 125. I probably will shove a lot of turns that are good for me, such as a spade or any other low card. However, it doesn't get to that point. Adam folds his queen high flush draw and Val gets out of the way with ace king. We scoop this pot and hopefully are headed back in the right direction.
Here we see Jack open it up in +1 to $15. We call in +3 with the lovely King Jack of diamonds. The hijack and the cutoff call as well, and we are off to a flop 4 ways, so we're hoping to smash it. It comes King Jack 3 with 2 clubs. We nail top 2 pair. Jack checks. I won't be slow playing this one multi-way on this board. I bet 45 into 64, and only Ethan in the cutoff calls. The turn is the 9 of spades, bringing in a second flush draw. Board is getting more dynamic by the second. Time to bet and make Ethan pay to get to the river. I bet $100 into 154, about 2/3 pot, and Ethan does not fold, but he doesn't call either. He rips it all in for 425 effective. Wowza. The most obvious straight draw of Queen 10 has improved to the nuts. It also could make sense for him to have a hand like pocket 3s or maybe King 9. There's just so many non-draws we are ahead of though, so I make the call. The pot is now over $1,000. He shows 5-6 of clubs and says run it one time and one time only. I say okay, we need to fade a club. The river is a black queen of spades. We take it down. A massive win for us. Let's go.
Here we are with ace 5 of spades and +3. I open for $12 and get 3-bet by Albert to 35. I honestly do not like the way I played this hand. Looking back and talking with a couple coaches about this, I think I should just fold here because Albert's not 3-betting enough to really punish our opens, and ace 5 of spades, although it's a pretty good price we're getting, we're not going to really know where we're at on most flops. But I make the call because it's only $23 more, and we go to a flop, which comes Queen, King, King. Albert flops the world. I check. He slow plays his full house. We're off to a turn card, which is the 4 of spades, giving us the flush draw. Bad news for us is I decide to lead as a bluff for $35 with my nut flush draw, and Albert again slow plays, just making the call. The river is the 9 of hearts. I'm hoping that he has some ace jack, ace 10, pocket 10s, pocket jacks combinations that will fold if I go for a pretty big bet. So I go for the size of the pot a little more, $150. Well, good thing we didn't hit that flush, but we did just bluff off into the basic nuts. Albert raises to 300. I quickly fold, and we lose a little bit of money here trying to bluff, deciding later that a fold pre-flop would have been the best move here. The bluff just didn't work this time.
If you want to see some next gen on next gen violence, buckle up for this one. It gets wild.
Get ready for one of the most butchered hands I've ever played on stream. We got pocket aces under the gun and min click raised to $6.
Albert tries to 3-bet him in under the gun +1, but does not verbalize that $25 raise, so that one chip counts as just a call. We now wake up with pocket queens and under the gun +2. Oh boy. Seeing a min click from Jack and an attempted 3-bet from under the gun +1 is really sus. I actually debate on just flatting given this action, but I do decide to go for the more standard 3-bet and make it $30.
And it folds back around to me. A 4-bet definitely makes a lot of sense, and a 4-bet also is definitely the best play. In the moment, I got caught up in playing aces tricky here and decide just to flat. My main reasoning was that Albert tried to 3-bet me in +1 over an under the gun open, so I thought his range was pretty strong. If I just put in a call here and Albert squeezed, I could potentially get stacks in pre-flop. My mistake in this thinking is that I completely disregarded how tight Rosie's range is after 3-betting me from under the gun, and so I definitely needed to go for a 4-bet here. Albert makes a call for $30 as well, and now we're 3 ways to a board with pocket aces out of position.
Flop comes 8-5-3 with a flush draw and it checks to me. I c-bet, I make it $60. Jack, however, does not spring the trap on me and he just calls again.
Albert folds. The turn is another 8. Now I've played with Rosie quite a bit and I'm almost certain that he's going to check back this turn. For that reason, I decide to lead out here and bet small for $50.
I have no idea what's going on at this point. You can actually see I start talking to Jack and laughing because this is getting pretty wild. I do make the call, however, and the river is a 7, and Jack bets again for 150, a little less than half pot.
My reasoning was I think Rosie's very capable of making really big folds. He's proven that time and time again in these streams. So I wanted to bet a sizing that I knew would get called by any sort of pair lower than aces.
I shrug, make the call, and he shows me aces. What? I did not expect that at all, but I'm happy Cash Money got tricky with me. I should have gone broke. An extra $200 had we gotten stacks in.
Tough hand overall, definitely learned my lesson trying to play aces tricky.
Stay tuned for another battle, Jack. I'm coming for you.
We're playing 1-3-6, Ethan calls 6, Aaron raises to $25, Hijack calls, and I call him the cutoff with King-Queen offsuit, and Ethan completes as well. Heading 4 ways to a flop, which comes 5-9-2, 2 hearts. We don't flop much of anything here, but everyone checks to me, so I do decide to stab for $35, and we get folds from the hands that are beating us, nice, and somehow get called by worse. The turn is the 5 of clubs. Val checks, and I don't really like this card as it won't really scare off any of his pairs if I decide to bet again. I check it back, and the river is the 4 of spades. Now, Val turns his hand into a bluff, betting $70, and here's where you think the hand would just end. However, all of the straight and flush draws have missed, and Val's range is pretty capped. He only called $25 pre-flop, so he won't have any of the overpairs in the situation. I don't block any flush draws, which is why I decided to go for some power poker and rip it all in.
Wow, what a play there by Frankie.
What?
This hand we face an early position limp. I decide to limp in the cutoff with Jack 10 offsuit. However, probably should just be opening this if I'm going to play it. The button limps and the big blind checks his option, so we're 4 ways to a flop of Jack 9-6 rainbow. When it checks to me, I bet pot size bet for $15. Albert calls on the button and Bo calls in the big blind, so now we're 3 ways to a turn card of the deuce of diamonds. Checks to me again, and I think this card is fine to continue going for value. I size up a bit to $50 and Albert makes a quick call. Bo gets out of the way with his pair of 9s, and at this point, I'm expecting Albert's range to consist of some sort of Queen 10 holdings, some diamond draws, as well as Jack X holdings. I think if he had a hand like 2 pair or a set, we would have heard about it by now. And so honestly, we're really only losing to Ace Jack, King Jack, and Queen Jack. Those are all holdings though that I would have expected him to open on the button rather than just limp. Maybe he limps King Jack and Queen Jack occasionally, but we can still get value when the river rolls off the 4 of spades from any Jack 8, Jack 7, maybe even a Jack 5 suited. So this is quite an interesting spot. You can see me eyeing Albert up here, trying to determine if he would ever limp a hand as strong as King Jack. I decide to go for some thin value here, bet $80. He sighs, tosses in the call. I show him the Jack 10. He shows me the bad news and scoops in the pot. Let me know what you guys would have done in the comments with this hand. I thought this was a really close spot and super interesting, so I'm excited to hear what y'all have to say about it.
Here we open up Ace King to $15, and Bo wakes up with the same hand and 3-bets me to $35. Folds back to me, we're out of position, great hand, looser opponent. Let's go for the 4-bet. I make it $125, and Bo folds face up. Wow, it is great to see our tight image get the same exact hand to fold. Maybe we can use this play more often and make some more money.
There's one limp, and we look down at the bullets, baby. Pocket aces in the cutoff. I open to 20, Bo calls in the big blind, and Aaron defends his limp with 9-7. Flop comes queen high, and when it checks to me, I'm going to continue here for $20, and we only get a call from Aaron. Surprisingly, Bo folded his backdoor flush draw and gut shot straight draw. Keep that in mind, he had Jack 8 of diamonds. The turn brings along the 5 of diamonds, and Aaron checks to me once again. He's got $200 behind. I want to bet a sizing that pretty much pot commits him. I bet $75 here, and Aaron postures for a bit before deciding to go all in for $200. I snap call. He asks me to run it twice. I shake my head, put up the 1 finger, symbolizing the let's run it once, there must be blood. The river duds off, and we double up through Aaron. Let's go.
Frankie, you're about to be ended again.
And what a hand it is. Pocket aces under the gun. I've been limping every hand in early position looking for the squeeze, so I do that again. Albert calls, Bo calls, and the big blind checks. Oh no. Heading 4 ways to a flop in a limp pot, which comes queen 10 3 2 hearts. We're still good so far. I lead out for $15 and calls from 2 players, Bo and Val. Can aces hold 3 ways? We see a 7 of diamonds on the turn. Good card for us. I bet $45 and Bo calls again, but Val makes a pretty nice fold with top pair. 80% chance that we hold, and we do on the jack of diamonds. I try to squeak out a little bit more value from Bo, who just picked up second pair, but he gets away, and we do get a little value with the best hand in poker.
2 cards was just simply not enough for us on this stream, so we decided to mix it up with the $10 Omaha bomb pot. And we flop middle set on a queen 6-4 board. I'm the big blind, so I decided to lead out here for pot, hoping to thin the field. And we get a call from Aaron, who's got a straight draw wrap, and Val with the nut flush draw and some backdoor straight draws. We're 3 ways to a bloated pot now, and it comes the jack of clubs. We're now losing to pocket queens and pocket jacks, but can't be scared of monsters under the bed. I'm gonna try to push my equity here, and I bet pot once again, $360. Aaron folds his draw, and back onto Val, who now has a wrap to go along with his nut flush draw. He says 2 words I was not hoping to hear. Repot. It's only 170 more to call. I toss it in, and we're off to run out. We decide to run this one twice, and as you can see here, I'm only a 57% chance to win this one. Hoping we can fade the million outs he's got. The river on the first board is the 9 of diamonds, so he is now free rolling the second board. We're in a $1,400 pot, already lost the first half. Can we please just get half of this back? And the river on the last board rolls off. The 9 of clubs. He drills the nuts on both boards and is going to be scooping this $1,400 PLO bomb pot. Nice hand, Val. Time to make it back.
Ooh, this is another fun one. We see Bo open +3 to $10. We got a call on the hijack, the button, small blind, and I'm in the big blind with king 8 suited, and I go see a flop as well. Flop comes 6 ace queen. We got a backdoor flush draw, backdoor straight draw. Bo bets $10, which is pretty tiny on this bet. We see a call from the button and the small blind, and now I don't want to just call here, and I'm picking up a lot of weakness from Bo, who made it 10 pre-flop and 10 on the flop, so I'm not putting him on a premium hand. I go for a bluff in this spot. It looks like a great spot to squeeze. I make it $75 to go. We get through Bo, who had second pair, and the button, who had a gut shot straight draw, but Val has top pair here. He doesn't seem to like it, but he does stick in the $75. Heading off to a turn, which is the 6 of diamonds. In this spot, the hands that I'm gonna be repping here are ace 6, queen 6, and pocket 6s, which just some combinations or less of. When he checks to me, I think I can get him off all worse aces here. He only called 10 in the small blind, and he would have raised if he had a good hand like pocket aces or pocket queens. So I go for a $175 bet. Stacks are deep, and Val snap folds. We got another bluff through Val. Let's go. Things are working out. Now enjoy a huge hand between Rosie and Jello.
Showtime, Jack. Time for my money back. I want to win this competition. Jack staying sneaky with an early position limp.
Albert opens up pocket jacks in the +1 to 15, and Rosie in the +2, now 3 bets to 50. This is probably the strongest line of action that had taken course over the whole stream. Under the gun limp, tight player in +1 opens, and an even tighter player in +2 3 bets. When it folds around to me, I actually consider just flatting here, considering how strong these ranges really are. However, I put in that sneaky limp 4 bet to 175, hoping just to take this one down.
Albert, let's go with the jacks, and it's back on me. I am now deciding whether or not to just call or rip it all in. I think if Jack has a hand like 10s, jacks, or queens, I can really put the pressure on him, and I want my money back. I rip it all in for $625 effective, and Jack does not snap call. This is the best news ever. I know we're at least flipping at this point, and maybe we can get him to fold even.
I decide, let's flick that call in. I've already committed $200. Let's get it in there. And he flips over ace king offsuit himself. We decide to run this one twice. Maybe we can spike a 4-card flush. We've got spades, and the flop comes with 2 spades.
Jack gets a flush draw on the turn. Thankfully bricks. Now it's my turn. Come on. Oh my goodness. Spades again.
We've got some life to 3/4 Rosie, but the turn is a king of hearts, and we are going to chop this one up. Nice hand, brother.
Good hand, Cash Money, good hand. All right, let me set the stage for this one. First of all, thank you if you are still watching. We really appreciate it. The producers have just told us that this is the last hand of the night. Frankie is currently in the top spot for this bet. I am gonna need like a full double up to pass him. Here we go. Under the gun, first to act, we pick up pocket aces. And I take a page out of Jello's book and go for a limp on a raise happy table. Bo immediately takes the bait and with 10-6 of spades and raises it to $15. And Clark 3-bets to 60 with queens. This is happening. Folds back to me. I come in for the 4-bet to $150. Clark makes the call. Let's do this. The flop is clean. It comes 7-6-4 rainbow. My goal at this point, and I'm thinking in my head, how can we get all the money in at some point? I decide to do a 1/3 C-bet here that will set up around a half pot sized turn jam. I bet $100 into 300 here. Clark calls very quickly. The turn's clean. It pairs the board. It's the 6 of diamonds, and it's all in time. I ship it for about 280 effective. Come on, Clark. Pay me. Let's win the bet. Clark goes deep into the tank. I did limp 4-bet. I'm barreling. He makes the fold. Wow, wow, wow. Great fold, Clark. I tip my cap to you. We scoop a nice one, but it is not big enough to dethrone Frank the Bank. Good game, brother. Into the game for 500, out for 865.
In for 1,000, out for 1101.
The boys are cooking. In for 500, out for 1210. Let's go.
Oh no. What's he gonna make us do?
You guys let me know.
Yeah.
Wait, no, because we have. You guys let us know. Let us know.
Yeah, we'll let you know.
Next video, I promise we'll do it.
All right, like.
Comment.
Subscribe. Peace.